Hello everyone. Today we are going to start MCAT 2206. We are going to solve quantitative ability section of MCAT 2206. Total there are 23 questions are there. Let's start with the test. Okay. Let's start with the test. The test is loading. Now let's start with the first question. This is my notepad where I will be doing calculation. Hold on. Okay. The question is 1 factorial square plus 2 factorial square plus 3 factorial square plus so on till infinity when divided by 1152, what will be the remainder? This is an easy question. Let's do this. Okay, so 1152, we need to do the prime factorization first of all. Okay, 1152 is divisible by 2, 4 and 8. Okay, so 8 into what? Tell me. 8 into 1za, 4za and 4za. Correct, yes. So 8 is 2 cube, 144 is 16 into 9, that is 2 to the power 4 into 3 square. So this is equal to how much? 2 to the power 7 into 3 to the power 2. So 1152, this is equal to 1152. Okay, so we want to find the smallest factorial which is completely divisible by 2 to the power 7. Smallest factorial ka square should be completely divisible by 2 to the power 7 into 3 square. Okay, so we want 3 squares, means it should be 3 factorial square. It should be more than 3 factorial square because we want 2 3s. Okay, so now we need to check IGP of 2 now. IGP of 2 in 3 factorial is equal to how much? It is equal to 1. Okay, in 4 factorial it is 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3. Okay, means 2 to the power 3 is there. If I square that, it will become 2 to the power 6. We don't want that. So next 5 factorial we do not need to check. We can directly go to 6 factorial. Okay, 6 factorial IGP of 2 is how much? 3 plus 1, that is equal to 4, means 2 to the power 4 is there. If I square that, that becomes 2 to the power 8. Okay, so 6 factorial is the first factorial which is completely divisible by 1152. Okay, 6 factorial is the first factorial which is completely divisible by 1152. So 6 factorial, and after that every factorial square will give us remainder 0. Okay, 6 factorial bracket square is the first factorial which is completely divisible by 1152, and after that every bracket square will give us remainder 0. So whatever the remainder, that will come from first 5 bracket square. Okay, 1 factorial square is 1, 2 factorial square is 2 square is 4, 3 factorial is 6 square 36, 4 factorial is 24 square 576, and 5 factorial is 120 square is 14400. Okay, so let's add this. This addition is going to be how much? 36, 40, 41, 756 plus 41 is equal to 617. Okay, 41 plus 14400. So this addition is going to be how much? 15,017. Okay, so now we are supposed to divide 15,070 by 1152. That I will do in the next slide. 15,017 I need to divide it by 1152. Okay, so 1152 ones are 1152. Okay, so this subtraction is how much? This subtraction is 9, 4 and then 3. Okay, 9, 4 and 3, then I will bring this 7 here. So now 1152 3s are, okay, into 3 I will do 3 2s are 6, 15. Okay, then 3 1s are 4, 3 1s are 3 plus 1 is 4, and 3 1s are 3. Let's subtract this. This subtraction is going to be 41. So final answer is going to be 41. Okay, let's mark this. Let's move ahead to the second question. The second question is x and y are positive integers less than 8. How many distinct values can the expression 3x plus 7y take? Okay, so means x can take 1 to 7 values, that is 7 different values x can take. Y can take 1 to 7, that is 7 different values y can take. So how many different pairs of x comma y we can make? 7 into 7, that is 49 pairs we can make. Okay, but we want distinct values of 3x plus 7y. So it may possible that for some different pair of x and y the value will be same. It may possible or not. It is risky. Okay, but this is a theta question. What I will do is I will mark 49. Okay, let it be whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, so x comma y, how many different pairs of x comma y we can form? 7 into 7, 49 different pairs we can form. Okay, so now let's move ahead. Question number 3. Question number 3 is Thomas and I bet on each game of a series of a chess game played between us. The bet amount, this looks a lengthy question. Okay, so let's solve it later on. Let's move to the next question. Okay, this question, each of Sharmishta and Dev, okay, each of S and D has a certain number of chocolates with her. If S gives 40%, if S gives 40% of the number of chocolates she has to D, the ratio gets reverse. If the number of chocolates that D initially had was P% of S, we want to find the value of 12p. This looks easy. We'll solve this question. Okay, so first of all, what we'll do is, Sharmishta is about to give 20% of chocolates to D. Okay, so 40% is how much? 2/5. So what I'm going to assume is, Sharmishta initially is having 5x chocolates. Okay, because I can take, because it should be divisible by 5. Okay, and then D is going to have how many chocolates? At last it is given that number of chocolates with D is P% of S. Okay, so the number of chocolates with D is going to be P divided by 100 into 5x. Okay, now 40% of the chocolates S will give to D. 40% of 5x means 2/5, that is 2x. Okay, so I am going to subtract 2x now. This will be 3x, and this will be how much? Px divided by 20 plus 2x. Okay, so now the ratio will reverse. Now the ratio will reverse means what? Look here, initially, okay, now S is having 3x chocolates and D is having Px divided by 20 plus 2x chocolates, and now the ratio is going to be how much? Initially the ratio was 5x divided by P by 100 into 5x. Now it will get reversed, means it will be Px by 20 divided by 5x. Okay, so let's solve this. Over here, x and x will get cancelled out, so we're left with what? 3 divided by P by 20 plus 2, and over here x and x will get cancelled out, so we're left with P by 300. Now let's cross multiply. 300 is equal to P square by 20 plus 2p. Then multiply whole equation by 20. This will be how much? P square plus 40p minus 6000 is equal to 0. So the roots are very easy to find out here. This is how much? 140. Okay, sorry, 160. So 160, the negative sign goes to 100. Okay, so from this we come to know that P is equal to 60. We want to find the value of 12p, means 12 into 60 we want to find. That is equal to how much? 720. So let's mark 720 as answer here, and let's move ahead. After this, question number 5. A task is to be assigned to a group of 18 people, the 6 male, 6 female, 6 children. This looks lengthy. Okay, it will take time to understand this question. We'll do it later on if time permits. Let's go to the next question. This also looks lengthy. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Again, this one looks lengthy, needs some extra calculation over here. Let's go to the next question. Over here, this will do. Look here, because over here the terms are dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. This formula is useful here. Okay, a natural number n is divided by 10, leaves remainder r and quotient q, means n is equal to 10q plus r. Okay, the number n is equal to what? Look here, the number n is equal to sum of product qr plus q plus r. Okay, and then n is a multiple of 9. N is multiple of 9 and n is less than 10,000. This looks lengthy. Okay, I think we should ignore it, or no problem, we'll solve this. Look here, let's solve this. Okay, so over here n is equal to what? Tell me. Q times r plus 1 plus r. Okay, if I compare these two, what I can conclude? I can conclude that the value of r plus 1 is supposed to be how much? Value of r plus 1 is supposed to be 10, or the value of q is equal to 0. Okay, these are the two things that we can conclude. If q is equal to 0 and over here r is equal to 9. Okay, over here r is equal to 9, and over here when we divide a number by 10, the remainder is r, means the value of r has to be less than 10. Okay, so r is equal to 9. This is the one solution. Sorry, r is equal to 9, this is the one solution. Okay, so 1 second, hold on, let me go back. R is equal to 9 is not a solution. Okay, hold on. Over here, from this we can conclude that the value of r has to be less than 10. Okay, because it is the remainder when divided by 10. Okay, so if I put q is equal to 0, n is equal to how much? N is equal to r. Okay, r has to be less than 10 and r and n has to be multiple of 9. Okay, n has to be multiple of 9. N is equal to r and r has to be less than 10, so n is equal to 9 is the only possibility. So this is only one possibility over here. Okay, so now after that, over here we got r is equal to 9, so n becomes how much? N becomes 10 times q plus 9. Okay, so now n is a multiple of 9, n is a multiple of 9. So what I will do, I will write 10q as 9q plus q plus 9. Okay, so if n is a multiple of 9, this is multiple of 9, this is multiple of 9, so q has to be multiple of 9. Q has to be multiple of 9 means q can be 9, q can be 18, q can be 27 and so on. Okay, we want value of n to be less than 10,000. Okay, so if I take q is equal to 900, okay, if I take q is equal to 900, some random value, okay, 900 into 9 is how much? 8100. 900 into 9 is 8100 plus 900 is 9009. So if I put q is equal to 900, n will be how much? 9909. That is the valid. Okay, we can move ahead. We can put q is equal to 909 also. Okay, we can put 918 also. Okay, so if I take some random, if I take 999 into 9, okay, 999 into 9 is how much? 999 into 9. Let me do this. 999 into 9 is going to be how much? 9000 minus 9, that is equal to how much? 9000 minus 9 is how much? 8901. Okay, plus 999 and plus 9, this addition, will it be less than 10,000? How much? Let's have a look at it. This addition is going to be how much? This addition is going to be 9909. Okay, is it correct? I am going to put 999 into 9 is how much? 9000 minus 9. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. Let me go back. This is how much? 999 into 9 is how much? 9000 minus 9 is how much? 9000 minus 9 is 8991. Okay, plus q is how much? 999 plus 9, this is how much? I think, yes, this is for sure less than 10,000, but can we go ahead or not? We need to check that. Okay, so this is going to be how much? 9989 correct. We cannot move ahead. So the largest value q can take is how much? 999. Okay, so how many values q can take? 9, 18, 27 till 999 means 111 plus 1, 111 plus 1, 111 plus 1 is 112 different values n can take. Okay, so 112 is the answer here. So let's move ahead. Question number 9, a flag post is placed on the top of a building of a height 200 meter. The angle of elevation is from another building of height 150, 60 degree and 30 degree. Yes, this is again easy question. Let's do this. So let's draw a diagram first of all. A flag post is placed on a building of height 200 meters. So this is a building, and let's say this is a flag post. There is another building of height. Okay, there is another building. The angle of elevation from this and from this, okay, we know, so we need to do some construction here. Let's drop a perpendicular from this to this. Okay, so the height of second building is 150, the height of first building is how much? 200. So this is 150 and this is 50, and this red is flag post. Let's say that height is x. Okay, the angle of elevation is 60 degree and 30 degree. So this angle is 60 degree, this angle is 30 degree. Okay, so over here we can use, and let's say this is a common side, so let's call it as y. Okay, so over here we can say that tan 60 is going to be how much? Tan 60 is √3, that is equal to how much? Opposite side divided by adjacent side, 200 plus x divided by y, and we know tan 30 also is equal to 1 by √3. Opposite side is 50 plus x divided by adjacent side is y. Okay, so we can equate y here. We need to find the height of flag post, means we need to find the value of x. Okay, so let's equate the value of y in the first equation. The value of y is going to be 200 plus x divided by √3, is equal to 50 plus x into root 3. Okay, so root 3 into root 3 is 3, that is equal to 150 plus 3x is equal to 200 plus x. So this is going to be how much? 2x is equal to 50. 2x is equal to 50, so x is equal to 25 is the answer. Okay, so let's mark and move ahead. After that, question number 10. Okay, out of 17 points on a plane, 7 points lies on a circle. No other group of 4 or more points are on a circle, and no 3 points are collinear. What is the maximum number of distinct circles that can be drawn that each circle passes through at least 3 of the given points? Okay, so over here the property that we know that from any 3 non-collinear points we can draw a circle. Okay, from any 3 non-collinear points we can draw a circle. So total number of circles that we can draw here is how much? 17C3. Okay, but out of this 17C3, 7 points are on a single circle. Okay, means we cannot draw any other circle if we choose any 3 from that. So minus 7C3 we need to do, and as we did minus 7C3, so we subtracted that initial circle also, so we need to add 1 circle here. No other group of 4 or more points lies on a circle, and no 3 points are collinear. Correct? Yes. Okay, so the answer is going to be 17C3 minus 7C3 plus 1. 17C3 is going to be how much? Look here, 17 into 16 into 15 divided by 3 into 2 into 1. 7C3 is going to be 7 5s are 35 plus 1. Okay, so this is 3 5s are 2 8s are, so this is 85 into 8, that is equal to how much? 640, and 46 80 minus 35 plus 1, so that is equal to how much? 646 plus 646. 645 plus 1, 646. Yes, so the answer is 646. Let me type the answer, 646. Okay, now after this let's move ahead to the question number 11. Question number 11, BD is to DC is 3 is to 4, E is to AM is to MD. This is again a very common question. Okay, so let's do this. So let me draw the diagram. First of all, the diagram is like this. This is AMD and this is E and C. Okay, so we need to do some construction here. We draw a parallel line. This is a parallel line to ME. Okay, let's say this point is F. So we know that BD is to DC is 3 is to 4. Okay, this is point B. BD is to DC is 3 is to 4, and AM is to MD is 2 is to 1. Okay, so look here, over here ME is parallel to DF. Okay, so we can use basic proportionality theorem here. Okay, so AM divided by MD is 2 is to 1, so AE divided by EF is also 2 by 1. Okay, and in the triangle CBE, CD divided by DB is 4 is to 3, means CF divided by FE is also 4 is to 3. Okay, over here FE is 3, over here FE is 1, so let's multiply this ratio by 3. So okay, so now we can see that if AE is equal to 6, EF is equal to 3, and CF is equal to 4, we want to find AE divided by EC. So the length of AE is 6, the length of EC is 7, so our answer is 6 is to 7. After this, question number 12, there are 28 identical coins, all of which except for one weight the same. Okay, there are 28 identical coins. Okay, 27 are having same weight, one is having different weight. Using a common balance, what is the minimum number of weighting required to ensure that the coin with the different weight is identified? Okay, so over here what we need to do is we need to break this. How we can break this? Look at 28 coins. Okay, so what I will do is, this is divisible by 14. Okay, this is divisible by 14 is one of the option. Okay, what we can do is we can make a group of 2 coins. Okay, there are 14 groups we will become. Okay, it will become, okay, the 14 groups, out of 14 groups, the 13 groups will have same weight, one will have different weight. We will choose that, but we need to weight that again. So 14 plus 1, 15 is not in the option. Or we can divide 28 into 7 for each. So 7, more than 7, there is only 14 is the option. Okay, so let's ignore this question. Let's move ahead. Let's see which other questions we can solve. Question number 13. Look here. Find the real value of k for which the sum of the square of the roots is minimum. Okay, let's do this. Over here, look here. The equation given is which one? X square minus k plus 1 into x plus 2k minus 1, okay, is equal to 0. We want to find the sum of square of roots. Sum of square of roots means alpha square plus beta square we want to find. The formula to find alpha square plus beta square is what? Alpha plus beta bracket square minus what? Minus 2 alpha beta. Okay, so alpha plus beta bracket square is how much? Sum of roots is k plus 1. Okay, k plus 1 bracket square minus 2 times product of roots is 2k minus 1. So this is going to be how much? K square plus 2k plus 1 minus 4k plus 2. Okay, so that is going to be how much? K square minus 2k plus 3. So we want to find at which value of k this is minimum. Okay, at which value of k this is minimum. So the formula we are having a direct formula, minus b divided by 2a. Okay, so minus of minus 2 divided by 2 into 1, that is equal to plus 1. At k is equal to 1, this is going to be minimum, so the answer is 1 here. After this, question number 14. This looks lengthy. Okay, what we'll do is we'll come back to this question. Okay, it will take time. We are left with 18 minutes. We'll go to the last question. We'll go till last question and then we'll come back. Let S be the set of all the 2-digit natural numbers with the distinct digits. In how many ways can the ordered pair P and Q such that P and Q belongs to S? What is S? S is a set of all the 2-digit natural numbers from 10 to 99. 90 we don't want, similar digits 1 1 2 2, and at least one digit should be common in between P and Q. Again we need to make a cases here. Okay, at least one digit. We'll do it later on if time permits. Let's go to the next question. Question number 16. A person starts writing the natural number starting from 1 on blackboard at a rate of 60 digits per minute. At the same time another person begins to erase. This looks easy but lengthy. We'll do it later on. Let's go to the next question. Find the sum of infinite series. Okay, this looks easy. Let's do this. So over here 1 minus 1 is there, plus 1 divided by 2 by 3 we can write 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3. 5 divided by 4 by 9 we can write 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9. Okay, then 19 divided by 18 to 27 we can write 1 by 8 minus 1 by 27, and then 1 by 16 minus 1 by 81, and so on. Okay, so what we'll do is we will, now these are power of 2's. Okay, so 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 and so on till infinite, and then take minus sign common, then 1 by 3 plus 1 by 9 plus 1 by 27 and so on. Correct, this is a GP. Okay, infinite GP. So the sum of infinite GP, first term divided by 1 minus r. Okay, after that over here first minus. Okay, minus 1 by 3 is first term divided by 1 minus 1 by 3. So let's do this. We will get the answer. So minus 1 plus 1 by 2 by 1 by 2 is 1, minus 1 by 3 divided by 2 by 3 is 1 by 3 divided by 2 by 3 is 1 by 2. Okay, so the answer is going to be minus 1 by 2. Yes, correct. After this over here, a quadrilateral ABCD is circumscribed about a circle. We know 3 sides and we want to find the 4th side. Correct, this also looks easy. Let's draw the diagram. Okay, so this is a circle and there is a quadrilateral like this. There is a quadrilateral like this. Okay, so now look here. Now if this is small a, this is small a. 1 second, hold on. This is ABCD. If this is small a, this is small a. If this is small b, this is small b. Small c, small c, small d, small d. Tangents drawn from any point to the circle are equal. Okay, so now we know that AB is 10, means A plus B is equal to 10. Then BC is 12, means B plus C is equal to 12. Then CD is 9, means c plus d is equal to 9. We want to find a plus d. Okay, a plus d we want to find. A is here, d is here. So what I will do is b plus c we know, no? Let's add these two equations. That okay, let's add b. Okay, 1 second, hold on, it will not help us. What we want to find a plus d. From the first equation, a is equal to what? 10 minus b. From the second last equation, d is equal to 9 minus c. Yes, so this is 19 minus in a bracket b plus c, that is 12. Okay, so 19 minus 12, the answer is 7. So a plus d is 7, means the fourth side is 7. Okay, after that, this is what mod of x denotes the number of elements in set x. Mod of p is 5, mod of q is 12. How many not onto functions? Okay, look here. So this is also easy function. Okay, mod means number of elements, means mod of p means number of elements in set p is equal to 5, number of elements in set q is equal to 10. Okay, so we want to define a function from set p to set q which are not onto. This is set p, this is set q. In set p the number of elements are 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and set q the number of elements are 10, a b c d e f g h and so on. Okay, total 10 elements are there. So we can see that every function that defined from p to q cannot be onto. Okay, we cannot define a onto function from p to q because number of elements in q is more than that of p. So every function is not onto. Okay, so the total number of functions are how much? 10 into 10 into 10 into 10 into 10, that is 10 to the power 5 are total number of function, and all the functions are onto. Sorry, all the functions are not onto. So the answer is 10 to the power 5, that is equal to 1 lakh. After this I think I missed one question. Hold on, question number 20. Look here, question number 20 is, we're left with 13 minutes. Okay, question number 20 is, we need to find how many roots are there. This equation is having the number of roots. Okay, so number of roots means degree of this equation. Okay, degree of this equation. Okay, there are two multiplication of two brackets. Second bracket, the degree of second bracket is how much? N minus 1 and into 2, because it is a bracket square. Okay, degree of second bracket is n minus 2 into 2, and the degree of first is 2. Okay, first bracket is 2, they will get multiplied. So the final degree is going to be the sum of powers of the highest degree in each bracket. Okay, in this first bracket the highest degree is 2, in the second bracket is 2 times n minus 1, because they are getting multiplied, so the powers will get added. Okay, so 2 plus 2n minus 2, the answer is 2n is the degree of this equation, means this equation is going to have 2n number of roots. After this, question number 21, if the straight line intersect in the first quadrant, which of the following values that a can assume? Over here we can make the use of options here. Okay, but checking every option will be a lengthy one. Which of the following, no? Which of the following means we will be getting multiple answers. We need to check by options. Okay, let's do it later on. Let's move to the next question. The algorithm is again this is again a lengthy one, so let's skip this. Let's go to the next question. Number 23 is the last one. Okay, in a quadrilateral, PQR is 90, QSP is 60, QR is parallel to PS, and QR is the smallest side. So which of the following is which is the longest side? Okay, let's draw the diagram here. So over here, PQR is 90 degree. Okay, this is P, this is Q, this is R, is 90 degree. Okay, QSP is 60 degree. QSP is 60 degree. Okay, QR is parallel to PS. QR is parallel to PS. So PS will be somewhere here. Okay, PS is like this, means this angle is also 90 degree. Then QR is the smallest side. QR is the smallest side means this S should be over here. The S should be over here. QR is the smallest side. Okay, and let's join this. And after that, we know that QSP, okay, QSP, this angle is 60 degree. Okay, and then which of the following, which is the longest side that we need to identify over here? This is 60, so this is 30 degree. Okay, so in this triangle, side opposite to 30 degree is going to be smaller than side opposite to 60 degree. So this side is not longest. Okay, PS cannot be longest. Okay, if you look at the diagram, PQ and SR, out of these two, PQ cannot be the longest. Okay, SR is going to be the longest because of that inclination. Okay, because we know that QR is the smallest side, so PS has to be somewhere on the right hand side. Okay, so you can see that this diagram is drawn to the scale. Okay, because we know which one is smaller side, which one is longer side. Okay, we know, so this diagram is drawn to the scale, so PQ cannot be the longest side, SR has to be longest side. Okay, so over here the answer is SR. Let's mark it. Okay, how many questions we did till now? Total 13 questions we did. Okay, so around 9 minutes are left. Okay, so let's see which question we can do. 22 is remaining, it's lengthy one. 21, then 16. Okay, 16 will do. Let's have a look at question number 16. Question number 16, look here. A person starts writing a natural number starting from 160 digits per minute. At the same time, another person begins to erase from 1 onwards at the rate of 40 digits per minute. Find the difference in the leftmost digit and the rightmost digit on the blackboard immediately after 1 hour. Okay, after 1 hour means 60 minutes. Okay, so the first person who is going to write in 60 minutes, he will write total 60 into 60, 3600 digits. 3600 digits he will write. First of all, he will write from 1 to 9, total 9 digits. 10 to 99, 90 numbers into 180 digits. Okay, 100 to 999, 1000 digits into 3, 2700 digits. Okay, so total how many digits are left? Look here, total we done with 2889 digits we done with. How many are left? 3600 minus 2889. This subtraction is going to be how much? Let's have a look at it. This subtraction is going to be 600, 711. So now 711, it is now whatever will come after that will be 4-digit number. Okay, so quotient of 711 divided by 4 is how much? 4 ones are 4, 4 sevens are 28, 4 sevens are 28, and the remainder is 3. Remainder is 3, means the last number is going to be how? Last number is going to be which one? Let's have a look at it. Starting from 1000, 177th number is going to be 1176, and after that 3 digits means 1177. Okay, we don't want that last 7. Okay, so now after this, the second person is B, who is going to erase in 60 minutes. How many digits he can erase? Look here, 60 minutes, every minute 40, that is equal to total 2400 digits he can erase. So 1 to 991, then 10 to 99, 180. Okay, so how many are left now? 189. Okay, how many are left? 2400 minus 189. This subtraction is going to be how much? 2211. Okay, so now after that whatever will come is a 3-digit number. So we are supposed to find the quotient of 2211 divided by 3. This is how much? 7s are 3s are and 3s are, sorry, 7s are 3s are and again 7s are. Okay, it is completely divisible. Okay, so the last number he will delete is 737th number starting from 100. Starting from 100, 737th number is 736, he will erase. Okay, the next is 738, sorry, the next is 737, and so on, and the last one is which one? And the last one is 1176, then 117. Okay, yes. So now over here what we want to find, what we are supposed to find, 1 second, 737 is the quotient, no? So starting from 100, 737th number, 100 is included. Okay, 100 is included. Starting from 100, 737th number means 837. Okay, sorry, hold on, let me correct this, I'm making a mistake here. Starting from 100, 737th number is which one? Is 836, he will delete. Okay, then 837 is there on a board, till 1176, then 117. Okay, this is on the board remaining. We want the difference between leftmost and rightmost, that is equal to how much? 8 minus 7, that is equal to 1. Yes, now it is correct, hopefully. After that, look here, we left with 4.5 minutes. Let's see which other question we can attempt. Hold on, this one we can try over here. Look here, 14th will do. 14th will do because it's a linear equation and it looks easy but lengthy. Let's have a look at it. Consider the following equation. First equation A, B, C, D. These are 4 equations. These are 4 linear equations in 3 variables. One has exactly one solution, x and exactly one solution, one set of values for x, y, z. Which of the 4 equations can be excluded such that the system of remaining equations has exactly the same solution as the given system? Okay, so over here there are 4 equations are there. Okay, so there is a unique solution for these 4 equations. We are supposed to remove one equation out of this 4 such that the remaining 3 equations will give us the same solution as the initial one. Okay, so let's observe this. Hold on, this looks tricky one. Hold on, x minus y plus z. Let me write this. Hold on, we need to observe this. Let's see what we can get. Like, can we get an equation, one of the equation, by using subtraction or addition by multiplication of other equation? Okay, so x minus y plus z is equal to 4. This is first. X plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 13. X minus 3y plus 2z is equal to 5, and 2x minus y plus 5z is equal to 18. Okay, so yes, what we can see is if we add these 2 equations, we will get the third equation. Okay, so equation B, C and D. If I do equation B plus C, okay, then I will get equation D. Okay, so what does it mean? If we solve the last 3 equations together, we will not be getting the unique value. Okay, we will not be getting the unique value. You can try this. Okay, if we solve last 3 equations, okay, after making coefficient of x or y or z equal, we will end up with 2 same equations, so we will not be able to solve these 3. Okay, so means we cannot remove first equation. Okay, so let me see the options here. The option C cannot be the answer. Okay, option C cannot be the answer here. We cannot remove first equation. Okay, means we need to remove the one equation from B, C and D. Okay, according to me, answer has to be last one. Any one among B, C, D we can ignore. Okay, so let's mark this. After this, look here, after this looks difficult. This looks difficult as of now. We left with 1.5 minutes. Hold on, let me check which other question we can solve. This one, let's try this one. If a straight line, look here, if a straight line x plus 2y is equal to 2, 3x minus ay is equal to minus 5 intersect in the first quadrant. Okay, let's try this. So from first equation, x plus 2y is equal to 1, so where x and y are greater than 0, they are in first quadrant, so we can say that x is equal to 2 minus 2y. The second equation is 3x minus ay is equal to minus 5. Oh, 1. I don't think so we will be able to do this. Okay, yeah, so how many questions we solved? 15th. Okay, 15 questions we solved in the given time while explaining. Okay, so let's submit the test. Let's see how many questions out of those 15 are correct. Okay, out of 15 all the questions are correct. Okay, bye everyone.